Hey everyone, welcome to the update video for me. No crazy stories this time. I helped marshal the Duello's winter tournament, big fencing tournament for longsword and rapier. We it went from like 4 to 10. It's a big 6 hour deal. I wasn't gonna show up, but then Ben, the guy running the tournament, you'll see him in a big red shirt here. He's kind of like the guy who runs the school. Uh, he explicitly texted me and was just like, "Hey, can you come out? Might need an extra lead marshal." I was like, "Sure, whatever, fine, whatever." And so there I was, marshaling the tournament, and we did super need people. Uh, it was a very volatile tournament. We had two rapiers break on two separate occasions, which was insane. I had never seen that before. It was a lot of really like snap cutty type fighting. Snap cutting is referring to the act of just whipping the saber in a big cut really quickly. The rapiers, not the saber. The rule set for rapiers is that with rapiers, you can't really cut. You can only cut if you make big, large actions for cutting. And it turns out that those big large actions are very fast. Rapiers are also designed to be very soft, so that when you thrust into somebody's neck with them, even through the armor, you don't really like collapse their throat. They're designed to be safe. This means that the top third of the rapier, which is quite soft, that is being used to do big, fast, whippy cuts, is, of course, shattering into pieces. And as a matter of fact, two of them shattered, sending a top third of a sword all the way off into the crowd multiple times. That was very crazy. All in all, though, very good tournament. We are in the wrist cut meta, or the hand cut meta, where it's just very common to try and cut people's hands with the longsword. It's the most forward target, and in a system where the location of the hit doesn't really matter, just the quality of the hit, you get the most points, the safest and the easiest by cutting the hands, cutting the leg, or baiting them away to think you're doing those things and then cutting somewhere else. This means that we are in the hand snipe meta. Woo! It's kind of lame. Especially if you're slow sparring. It feels really sucky to just get doinked in the hands constantly. This is part of why longswords have crossguards and why crossguards just aren't enough sometimes. Hand protection on these swords already feels like very middling, and the fact that like so many hits are being to the hands already is kind of crazy. And you saw it right there. This tournament finals was like ridiculous. The guy on the left is Sander. He is 183 on the world or something. The guy on the right is Tony Pachinko. Pachinko? No, different Tony. This is Tony. He's from Thick, THCC, the Historical Combat Collective. And he's pretty new. He's like 22 years old or something. Sander's a lot older. I think he's in his 30s. But he's just really fast and really athletic. And he practices a lot. He's been doing it for a while. So he's a pretty new fencer going up a pretty established, really high quality fencer. And the result is a fight with a lot of doubles. Double hits in duello fencing, specifically in the tournament, are rated as 3 doubles. The match is thrown out. You're just both disqualified from that fight, as in it is counted for a loss for both people, unless you're in finals, which is what is on screen right now. In finals, you can double as many times as you want. So, unless you're losing really badly, even if you're losing really badly, there's no reason not to just attack like a psycho and try to go for that first hit just as quickly as possible, because being first negates their hit. If you hit them first and they hit you second, you get the points, and they don't. This means that the finals is very, 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 very doubly, and almost always every time ends up being like multiple doubles. And there's a catch here for doubles. Every time you go past the first double hit, you do 5 exercises. We usually say squats. By the time we had gotten to the end of this final, good hit. By the time we had gotten to the end of this final, we had gotten to the 6th double. which is I think 85 squats or something absurd. I can't remember. These guys were so fucking tired by the end of this tournament. It was wild. Absolutely just gassed out on double hits and squats and everything. Other than that, I'm working a new gig. My time at the third floor is over, so I'm no longer working on a movie. On the bright side, I have a contract. I have contract work for a friend. We're working on an indie game, and that's all cool and stuff. I get to do rigging again. I went to the Smith out on Gastown. We were drinking with some of Leah's friends from her old job bench. It was cool. I met a guy from Ireland. I assume it's Ireland. It's an Irish pub. He had some accent. He showed me this stupid drinking game where you basically sip a pint of Guinness until you get to the like shelf of the G. And that's called splitting the G. And I basically only ever talk about this to say splitting the G so that everybody thinks I just like I'm part of like a kink club or something. It's the dumbest name ever. It's very silly. Other than that, watching lots of movies with Leah. We've been through both Mortal Kombat movies, the old ones, like Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat. I think it's called Annihilation. These movies suck, and they suck in like the best way. They're really fucking good. Both of these movies have like good sets and practical effects, so it's kind of fun to watch. Like what definitely looks like TVB Hong Kong stars doing backflips with like shitty ninjas and CG lizards. Watched Army of Darkness and The Evil Dead 2 on Valentine's Day. It's both me and Leah's favorite movies. Absolutely ridiculous film. It's by the guy who did Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. The director is Sam Raimi. He's very campy. He does lots of silly shit. He really likes practical effects. And the movies are ballistic. It's about a guy who's like in a haunted house, but he's like kind of fighting back. And at one point, like his hand gets cuts off, his hand is possessed, it's like fighting him, he's like chewing the fingers off, he has to get a new hand but he can't, so he replaces his hand with a chainsaw. He finds a 12 gauge shotgun, starts fighting the ghosts with that shit. He falls into a portal at the end, and now we're in the Army of Darkness movie, which is the sequel, where he's in a French castle trying to find the Necronomicon, and he's fighting like zombies and stuff with a chainsaw hand and a shotgun. And at some point he gets cloned, and like an evil zombie version of him rallies the zombies, and he fights tiny versions of himself that are like little like mini people that tie him to the floor, and the Necronomicon eats his hand because it's actually also a zombie because it's a book made out of dead people. It's ridiculous. I love these movies. I'm also getting Leah to watch Chainsaw Man. If you haven't seen Chainsaw Man, it's about a kid who is possessed by a demon, and he's part of a bunch of other people who are possessed by demons. They're on this little fucking military police thing, and they go out and fight other demons. It's anime as fuck. It's every anime you've ever seen, and every anime you've ever seen is child soldiers. The catch with Chainsaw Man is that it's very dark, it's very horror themed, and it's very silly. I think like in the second episode, you meet like the two like main guys, and they're introduced by just like kicking each other in the nuts because of how much they hate each other. It's full of just a bunch of really rude teens acting their dumbest with superpowers. It's kind of X-Men. Anyway, that's my update for now. I hope you enjoyed this fencing footage. Oh, look, he's doing sit-ups. Yeah, that's definitely the fifth double, maybe the sixth. I can't remember. Anyway, toodaloo, y'all.